despite the fact that I definitely would say I'm the target audience for the Big Bang Theory, I never really sat down to give it a proper watch. I think about 10 years ago, um, I kind of made an attempt to watch it thoroughly, but it just never really stuck with me. So it's on Netflix, so I thought, let's give it another go. I watched the first episode, and then I watched about 4 or 5 episodes immediately after. It's really good, and I know that's an understatement. It's one of the most loved, successful shows of this century, but I had to see it for myself to believe that. And yet, I'd seen this first episode several times before, but I'm trying to view it afresh, forgetting everything I know about, what happens in later seasons. And as an introduction, I think it's great. I think you very quickly get to know the characters and what they're like. I will say at the very beginning, this will contain spoilers for this episode, by the way. At the very beginning, when they're at the sperm bank, I find that very odd because it doesn't feel in keeping with the style of humor that you find in the rest of the show. I have now seen pretty much all of the first season, and over the years I've seen episodes here and there when I've been in hotels and things, and it just doesn't feel like it's in keeping with the rest of it. So I found that to be quite a peculiar choice to kickstart the episode and to introduce us to the characters. But after that, I think we get a really good introduction to who will become the main characters. I have to say that this is directed by James Burrows, who is one of my absolute favorite TV directors. Cheers, Frasier, Big Bang Theory, of course. So that was always going to be a positive, and I'm struggling to find anything else negative to say about this, which is fantastic, because I'm sure you'll know that a lot of TV shows, even very successful TV shows, sometimes have a rocky beginning in their first episode, or maybe even their first season just isn't that good. But that's absolutely not the case here. I think the introduction we get to Penny is particularly great. She's kind of hard to identify to begin with, because on the one hand, you want to think of her as I guess, I don't want to use the word idiot, but the not very intellectual, stereotypical blonde character that you get in a lot of films and TV shows. But there are things about her personality that suggest otherwise, that she does actually have life experience and that she does actually know some things. Just obviously compared to her next door neighbours, it doesn't necessarily come across. So it's not immediately obvious what kind of person we're going to get from her, but it is obvious that she's not stereotypical, and I think that that's something that's quite refreshing, particularly for a female character. With regards to Leonard and Sheldon, straight away, we know exactly what they're going to be like, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. You get used to Sheldon's neurotic personality pretty instantly, and I guess it's hard for me to say whether or not I liked his personality straight away, because I have obviously seen other episodes since this, over the years. But I think I would have warmed to him quite quickly. But Leonard certainly a lot more. Leonard is very likable. With regards to Howard and Raj, obviously we don't really get to know them too much in this first episode, but the introduction is there, so we are aware of the kind of setup we're having. 4 boys, 1 girl. Not the best way to phrase it, but you can tell kind of where this is heading and what the style of humor is going to be like, and that's something that I really appreciate, because again, not every sitcom series will do that. Some of them will have a rocky start. Not the case here. Really strong pilot. I thought it worked really well. I haven't seen the original pilot. This is listed on IMDb as the unaired pilot, and apparently this was, well, I was going to say released in 2006, completed in 2006, and if you know where I can watch it, it's not on Netflix. Let me know. I'd be quite keen to see what it's like, but there are some changes. Apparently, they have a female friend, a scientist, and it seems like she was going to play a more prominent role in this. And obviously we still have Leonard and Sheldon, same cast. But their female friend, the Penny character is actually a girl called Katie, who was played in the pilot by Amanda Walsh, and she was actually a drunk girl that Leonard and Sheldon invited back to their apartment, presumably to keep her safe and protect her, and that's how they met her. Yeah, if she's not living next door, I don't think it would have had the same setup, and I don't think it would have worked as well. So I'm curious to see what that's like. But this first episode, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and as I said, even though I tried to watch it in the past and never really stuck with it, this time around, it had a much bigger impression on me, and I absolutely loved it. I would say if you haven't seen The Big Bang Theory, give it a watch, but I'm assuming pretty much everybody has seen this. I'm late to the party with becoming quite addicted to it. But on the off chance that you haven't seen it, or you've maybe tried it in the past and couldn't get on board with it, give it another go. If the time is right, I think it's one that you'll really enjoy.